So guys, I work in an industry that generally takes pride in the fact that the next car or the car that we're in is always better than the last one. And if you watch enough reviews, you suddenly come to that conclusion that generally speaking, the last thing any journalist says is, I prefer the old one, until now. And I'd even be definitely involved in that the next car that I'm driving is usually better than the last one. But right now, this Civic, I prefer the looks of the old one. I'm sorry, Honda. But there's problems. I mean, look at the thing. It's kind of pretty in places. If you look at my Instagram, I've taken some really good pictures. Head on right here, that's a pretty good view. I kind of like that, especially if you go a little bit low down, it starts to get meaner and meaner looking. And that's pretty good. But when you start to look at details, you start to get a bit closer to it. Then you realize that there's a line here, and a line here, and a line here, and a line under there, and then a line down there somewhere as well, and more honeycomb stuff going on. You just don't notice it in the black and white from way back here. You don't notice all those lines, but in other colours you do. And in the side profile, yeah, 5-door hatch. And then around the back, it really does start to get a little bit weird. Just taking around out of the sun here. So you have a spoiler that is up here, and then you have a spoiler down here as well. And then you have these kind of C-shaped lights, and a line going down there, but there's also a line here and a line up there. And then there's all these cuts and lines and diffusers and double exhaust and stuff, which are all interesting, but I don't think they add anything to the design. It's like they didn't know when to stop designing the car. Everybody had a go, and everybody created another crease, another line, another opening, another something or other. I don't know. I know it's all covered in dead flies, but it's just driving it back. I just don't know about the exterior. It's growing on me a little bit since I got it, but it's still so hard. On the inside, in the back seat, Honda used to have magic seats, so these could lift up, the squabs could all lift, and you got flat floor. That is all gone. This is all solid stuff underneath here now, and none of that exists. So in here is dark. I mean, it's pretty heavy and dark now, I have to say, although it does have an armrest of sorts. It comes down there in the middle, but it's still, like, the doors are really tiny. The doors on the back are much smaller than the doors on the front. By the way, that door on the back being small is a criticism from my daughters and not from me. They noticed that immediately. So tomorrow I'm going to look more in detail at the interior, but you can see where I am with the exterior. The boot, again, has lost its magic floor. It used to be a 2-level boot, and it had all sorts of kind of places to put things. That's gone as well. Now all you're left with is this little hook thing that lifts up and shows you this, which is the compressor and the gel and things, and that's kind of it. No spare wheel, and it's got a ridge in the middle of it. This thing here, sorry, I still have my man flu, and this is most unusual. This is a tonneau cover, but it's sideways, so it scrolls back over there into one corner. So that's kind of where I am with the Honda Civic exterior. Later in the week I might feel a little bit differently about it when I've driven it long enough, but it's very Marmite. You either like it or you don't like the exterior, and the interior and driving ability means just a kind of standard 5-door hatch now, instead of being a clever thing with the flip up seats and drop down boot, and you know. Anyway, we have engine and interior tomorrow. Be sure to subscribe. Make sure you click that subscribe button as quick as you can. Tomorrow you're going to have to subscribe, because tomorrow I'm going to England to talk about the Suzuki Swift and go to Manchester. So if you're in and around Manchester and you see a little Suzuki Swift passing you by, check to make sure it's not the next gear having a little drive by as it is. Until tomorrow, I will see you on the far side.